Hey, how you doing? Okay. Want to make sure everything's going good. Let's do it. Okay. I'm thinking about playing king up here. Then you just gotta check there. King b1. And I don't really see any other checks that could happen because if he were to play, oops, if they were to play either here or here with the queen, then I can move my rook and pin the queen. And this pawn protects the only checking square, which is F5. Yeah, I'm liking that. You have to always ask yourself in the Aikido principle, what is this move? What's the drawback to this move? And what's the advantage? He wants to play here, and then if I play here, he wants to play knight in. And then wreck some havoc there, so we don't want that. What I'm thinking about doing is potentially taking the rook because it's on pre. But then after that happens, we got a queen check. Oops, not there. A queen check. King here. Knight there. And then rook to e2, and I believe we're holding at that point. Nope, this is actually made at that point. Yikes. So if we played pawn takes, queen check here, knight there. Trying to figure out if there isn't queen takes pawn there. Then you have because that attacks the rook over here, but then you have check, king there, knight, queen takes check, queen up. No, I don't like that. Well, I guess we could win the there check. He comes up. Hmm. Trying to figure out if something like that. I know that then this would take in passing check. Nope, that wouldn't take. It'd be this takes in passing. King here. Queen check. Yikes. Maybe not there. Maybe here. But then you have pawn push with a fork and it wins the rook. Yikes. So we're not liking that too well. Boy, this one's tricky. I'm trying to... trying to figure out what to do here. I am not really sure about this one. This one is... really working hard to find this one. Let's see, queen takes b5, suit takes b5. Trying to see if this doesn't win anything. Yeah, I'm gonna go with it. I gotta see if it's not this, is it? I'll try it again. Wow. Oh. For some reason I didn't see this. I was blinded to this here. Backwards retreating move. Huh. Gotta ask yourself why you didn't see it. For some reason, I guess I didn't see the backwards retreat move. Let me see here. Let's do it again. So this is queen takes f7 mate. Knight takes h5. Bishop. See, this is covered here, so you can actually play there. See, it's covered, and now this is attacked, this is attacked, so it's a mate, back rake mate, protected by the bishop. This is actually mate taking the pawn. A rook and queen, back rake mate. Queen and knight mate on f7. Queen and knight mate on b2. See if the queen takes queen, knight takes, and then rook e1 threatens the back rake mate there. So we actually will win a knight because of that. Now we can play here, which pins the bishop, to the rook, and it pins the knight to the rook, king, and then pins the bishop to the rook. So it's a pin. See, this right here sets up for a piece sacrifice on g6. When pawn takes, then you come over as mate. You're opening up lines because the bishop covers here, that square, and then this is mate. By taking f takes, or g takes f6, you win a piece. And you're threatening mate, and the queen has to trade. When the rook trades, you're up a whole rook at that point. So this is a check here. The king has to come up here, and then you play queen to f8 so that you can threaten mate on g7. So the queen has to sacrifice itself. You take it. At this point, you can actually double rooks, and you can win a rook here. And if the knight comes here, you pick up a rook, and then if the knight takes, that rook just comes back down and wins, and you're up a piece. So yeah, so the knight falls. And in this case, this looks like a tempting move, but this is a better move because this one leads to mate, this one just wins a piece. mate 2 or 3. See this, you can actually take a second and play knight takes c2 check, king moves, queen takes, rook takes, and then knight takes rook, and you're up in exchange. This is a checking move. If he plays g6, knight takes g6, pawn takes g6, and then you win a rook. This actually pins the queen to the king by playing. Then you can play king takes pawn, queen takes, rook takes, and you've won a piece. I mean the queen for a bishop. So that's always fun. This is an interesting idea. If you thought about taking with check, this actually leads to mate 2. Queen takes it here and then mate. Be on the lookout for a pattern like that. That's the bishop and queen tandem pinning the knight. I mean the king. The knight going to d5 is really strong because the knight's pinned to the queen. So if the knight took the knight, then the bishop, the queen would end. I mean, the queen would be gone. So the queen, if it moves, then you can actually play bishop takes knight, and you win a rook. So rook takes rook, and then check, and that forks the king and the bishop. This actually loses a piece by force. By playing here, you can actually retreat and win a piece. You keep the piece and you're good. The knight takes, knight protects the bishop here for when the bishop takes. And if the pawn were to take, then the bishop would take, so you'd win a piece either way. This right here allows for a pin, and it wins. You take there, and you actually win with checks. You check, then you can move the queen. The move here is queen takes, then pawn takes, rook takes check, king comes up, and then you win the rook there. See, knight to f5 threatens mate because it guards that, and then queen checks would be next. So the even if the rook takes, queen would have to take the knight at that point. The queen's almost trapped, one move away. If we could play rook d1, it's protected by the queen. There's no escape route for the queen. This actually wins the queen. See, rook takes, d3, knight takes, and then pawn takes. We're actually up a minor piece in that. We're not going to win a queen, but we're going to win a minor piece, which is as good. We'll win right out the minor piece off the bat. This move d3 attacks the bishop, and the bishop retreats back, then queen e4 check, and then the bishop has to come back, then you win. Queen takes, queen takes, queen takes, king takes, and then bishop takes, and you've won a whole piece for a pawn. And now we can actually trade queens, and he takes, and then we win a piece from the bishop. You take here first, then you take there, and you win a piece. This move is a really interesting move. You attack the king, he comes here, and then you threaten mate because you're covering this, this, and that at the same time. It's just so wonderful of a move. And then this is mate. This is a potential, actually first of all we have to grab the knight because we want the bishop to be there. See, if you checked first on a4, the knight can retreat back and block. So first of all you got to remove the knight. Now when you check, there's nothing to block on c6, and you just win the bishop. So you have to replace the piece that your opponent would want to have to block with another piece that can't. I know it's like, what? Yeah, it's kind of one of those different things for sure. See, what we're wanting to play is bishop check. When the king moves, we want to actually play bishop f7. What that does is the queen guards this diagonal, the bishop guards this diagonal. So the only move that that actually wins. Oh wow, that actually wins a queen because his bishop covers here, there. Yep, that actually would win a queen. This right here, bishop takes, takes, and then we actually win material here. It's kind of one of those awkward ones. See how we're doing here. Perfect, nice. We're on a record pace. We're doing good. We're keeping it up. So what we're trying to do is play rook takes and then bring the queen in and threaten checkmate. So let's grab the rook first. Now we have an idea of coming back and winning another rook. Rook to b1, king takes b1, and then we play queen takes a3. Well, we still have that idea now with a1. Then we take, we have one material. At this point, we can actually take knight takes b5, pawn takes b5, and then takes. But let's see if there's anything better. I don't really like my knight on a3, so I believe it's knight takes b5, a takes b5, and then queen takes a8. Oh, really? So bishop takes, which keeps the knight in play. What did I not see here? So bishop takes, because that pins the knight, doesn't it? Then forces pawn takes. Okay, that's the reason. It's the most forcing line. Bishop takes, b5 would be important because then, yeah, okay, I see that now. Out of the takes, that's the best take. This is an interesting move. You check there. You play after the king comes up. You play bishop there, check. The king comes up here. Yeah, I like that. We actually ran a rook after that. And I believe that equals mate, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this is mate here. So you check. The king comes over here. We check there. The king comes back. Rook takes. The queen has to move, and then we can actually swing the rook over to g4. Interesting. This is a best move, because if we played this here, the problem with playing this here right now is rook comes over, that pins our queen to our king, so this has to be played here to move the king on there. Then we take. rook takes g6 is an interesting continuation. Because the rook is actually, the queen pins the rook to the king. Yes, we have a temporary check here. We can actually go king to h, and it covers h6, and now they're in serious quagmire. Yeah. Queen takes queen. If we play knight takes there, king takes, queen check, king back, and then we take check, and we actually are doing really good here. Let's see, king here, if king there, king up, one, queen. We're threatening mate at that point. So here takes check. Say here. King there. Push. Check. Here. There. Queens. Check. King takes. Queen. Check. King there, and then mate. Yep. Let's see if we take here. You can actually push. There. Push. There. Queens. Here. If he pushes. There. Here. Here. Push. There. 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 Queen. Check, check. Yeah. Oh, you take? takes. There. KH2. So here, then rook there. Rook here. Rook check. Check. And he takes and takes, and he's fine. So this is the only move that. How are we doing? Perfect. Try one last one. Rook check here. Queen takes, bishop takes, king takes. Thinking, what? Really? I really thought that was gonna work. Yeah, bishop here. The reason this actually is best is this pins the knight to the king and it forces that. I should have seen that. Let me make sure that we have then it takes here, king there, there, oops. F takes here, here, so here, this here, knight takes, king up, pawn takes. You come here, he comes there, you come there, and there's no way to stop it. It's, oh, wow. Then here, check. I can't believe I didn't see that. That's okay. We'll, it's not good that I didn't see it, but we got to learn from it and keep moving forward. But so we'll go over them one more lap, one more time, and then we'll call it a day. Oops. Let's try that again. That wasn't. That was a mistake on my part. Rushing. Remember, we take. So it's that turn. You take, and then you take there. So remember, if you see this, try to do the most active move because you have two takes. One forces the position, one doesn't. The bishop forces the exchange, then you win a rook. So always look for the most forcing move. Now here, same idea. I was thinking of playing king here, but then that allows takes, takes, there, and if he comes here, here, there, and so it gives your opponent counterplay, and we don't want our opponent to have counterplay. So we have to kind of force the position, and forcing the position is h3 right away. You're making them have to think. This is a good move, but it's not the best move because if you play here, the pawn will take on b6, check. He's got two spots to go to. He's got here, here, here. Three spots actually, and if he goes to F or G1, we come in here, they push, you play check here, and if he comes over there, then what you can actually do is bring your king. Let me make sure to see. So here, there, there, here, here, push, check, there, king up, queens, check, king takes, there, that works. But the best continuation is actually forcing it. You take the initiative, you don't even allow him to take. And now here, when you go up to f3, you can escort the pawn down. If he takes on b6, you can actually play g2, and if he plays b7, you can actually queen, one move ahead of your opponent, and if they queen, then you can bring your bishop, your queen down, check, king comes up, and then you mate right there. So that's beautiful. And this one is sad that I missed it. It was straight right in your face here, because after checks, if the king comes here, that's mate. After checks, if the king comes there, we can actually play discovered check, double check here. The king comes back, and then we play queen to f7 mate. So there's two different ways to mate. And you know what? As long as you understand them and are able to implement them, even after you get them wrong, and then you can solve them next time, that's an accomplishment. It's not good that you that we missed them, but you know what, you got to learn, and the only way to learn is to make mistakes. And we've learned from our example to treasure our victories, so treasure our ones that we get right, but learn from our mistakes. And remember that mistakes do not define who you are. It's how you handle the mistake and what you do with it. Do you learn from it, or do you keep making it and just go to the next one, and you don't figure out why it was wrong and why it was right, why you were wrong and why it was right. So we're going to leave it on that. I wanted to thank you for logging on, participating. We did a lot of puzzles today. We're going to even do I'll do some more Jeremy Silman tomorrow, and then we'll do some puzzles too. And we're going to start getting our endurance back built up and strengthening our understanding. That's why we take what Bruce Lee says: you take what you know and be able to apply it, and you do something with it. Remember always, though, that eternity is forever, and we don't even know what forever our eternity is. But we can have a concept of it, like what we talked about, the thimble and the eyedropper of sand in the water and all that, is that even when you've drained everything, taken all the sands off of and brought inland, every grain of every beach, eternity still hasn't begun if you did all that. And so there's no that's a long time, and that's why the choice to receive the Lord Jesus now is even more vital with the situation that's going on in the world right now and everything. No, tomorrow is not promised to any person, and so it's better to make a decision now than not to make one and find out that the Lord had great things for you when you get up there. So just keep that in your forefront, that today is the day of salvation. So you have an opportunity right now, my friends, to receive Jesus as Lord and Savior. Remember, though, our Team Chess Cruncher model: when we do our puzzles, we have to do this. We have to sit down. Remember, we hang up our coats, we hang up our hats. We sit down and study when most won't. Team Chess Cruncher does, and that makes all the difference. And as Wesley So says, serve the Lord Jesus, as I say, God bless. I'll see you next time on Chess Cruncher TV. And you know what? We'll have a blessed morning, afternoon, evening. And remember, though, what we have to do is every day learn something in chess. The hardest thing to do is to learn from your losses and your mistakes. So just keep that in your forefront, that even if you do that, try to learn from it and then improve. Remember what Hannibal Smith, and I'll leave you on this one, I promise, that even inside of a random position, there's always a plan. And when you find it, you get to implement it, and you remember the puzzles that we did at one of them. You get to say, I love it when a plan comes together. Okay, 2 thumbs up, hoorah, be blessed, and I'll see you tomorrow. Go Team Chess Cruncher, hoorah.